To paraphrase Sir Winston Churchill, should Hitler elect to invade hell, I will give at least passingly positive mention of Satan. PETA tells Amazon to stop filming with real animals after a horse dies of cringe during Rings of Power Season 2 filming. Now, which one of the two involved is Satan here? Well, I suppose that's up to your sense of priorities. On the one hand, you've got, PETA. Why cow's milk is the perfect drink for supremacists. As dairy milk has long been embraced as a symbol of white supremacy. It's like, PETA has become a parody of itself, and has been a parody of itself now for a very, very long time. They are a bunch of absolute, genuine lunatics, and should not be taken seriously for, well, anything, in essence. But at the same time, if this can somehow hinder the filming of Rings of Power Season 2, I'm all for it, honestly. I would prefer it if, a horse didn't have to be sacrificed on the altar of convenience, but... God, that's mildly cruel. The poor horse didn't do anything. If anything, it probably committed seppuku as a act of contrition, opposition, and demonstration against the Season 2 being filmed at all. So... For a moment of seriousness here, what apparently happened here was that after the whole, there we go, yes, the independent necropsy has confirmed that the horse died of cardiac failure, which, it's one of those things that happen. Humans die of that all the time, horses as well, obviously. But, well, it's like on this particular set... I can't quite shake the mental image of the horse seeing Black Elf and wannabe Galadriel, for example, acting at each other. Like two planks just bashing against each other, and the horse would just go on over calmly, collectedly. The rider would be like, "Where are you going, horsey?" It's like, "I have a thing to do." Goes on over there and spits on both of them. Then calmly lays down, very relaxed, very only, rolls over onto his back, sticks his little legs up in the air, bends his head, and then his heart just stops because he couldn't handle any more of the Rings of Power Season 2, because God knows, I had to sit through the entirety of the first season, and whilst my life most certainly did flash before my eyes more than a couple of times, I also considered just simply ending everything. The Rings of Power is not merely bad television. That's the thing about this goddamn show. It is not merely bad television. Bad television is Velma, Bad television is something, disgusting, a la Velma. Bad television is something boring, a la the Mandalorian's recent episodes, and the fact that it still doesn't have a reason to goddamn exist, practically. But this was an offense. This was a middle finger to everything, one that they continued to give you again and again and again. The Númenóreans carried an entire army across the seas on 3 boats, after their entire fleet apparently exploded. They kept dozens, if not hundreds of horses on those 3 boats, somewhere. Galadriel is... never mind. Galadriel is a little bit too much for me on at the moment. The Blind Queen. That's a more sensible example, right? Blind Queen is like, "I can't see. Don't tell anyone. It must be a secret so that people will not know and become nervous." Next scene, Blind Queen is wearing a blindfold. Oh, Sauron. The Sauron reveal. That one had some promise. That one has some genuine promise, because his entire speech, like, "Galadriel, you made me, you saved me from the sea, etc." Okay, there is a way to hammer that home. There is absolutely a way to hammer that home. But instead of doing that, they decided to reveal he's Sauron, then wait a bit, and reveal he's Sauron again. After which Galadriel proceeds to forge 3 rings of power, because that way there won't be balance, and therefore the balance can't be upset. You can see what I mean about seppuku. See, as much as it is sad that his poor animal had to, witness this, and as ludicrous as PETA is, part of me really does hope that this somehow gives a bunch of investors a reason to intervene, go like, we think you're abusing horses, and we don't want our brand associated with that, so we're just going to drag all of our money out of Amazon Studios and collapse the entire thing. Perhaps the Rings of Power will be, a Macbethy thing, a famously cursed thing that literally will not exist, cannot exist, must not be allowed to exist, and will instantaneously collapse any studio that attempts to make it exist. That would at least be a happy ending to Season 1, if nothing else. Good God. We could also speculate as to whether or not this could have been avoided, because we know, of course, that their budget has been slashed rather drastically after they had to move away from the New Zealand filming and over to a studio in London and then touring Europe for their various scenes. But still, this is a $5 billion total investment show. Despite the fact that the first season used up one of them, there is still more than enough cash left, and I doubt Amazon would be, stupid, callous, and cruel enough, frankly, despite all available evidence from Season 1 suggesting the otherwise, to just, hire people who would just see the horses die. And apparently, this was a reputable firm as well, because, Amazon doesn't have a stable or anything that they just bring along with them. This was from a company that rents out horses and animals for this express purpose, so unless something to the opposite is proven or shown, I hardly doubt this. I hardly think, that's a more correct term, yes, that this was in any way malicious or anything like that. I really can't imagine it would be. I mean, it's a poor horse, goddammit. Horses are delicious, but they shouldn't be abused just because they're delicious. They are, genuinely, seriously. Eat them with potatoes and smashed eggs. It's great. PETA's argument, come on, you can use CGI, mechanical rigs, and other human methods that wouldn't run vulnerable horses to death on set. There is no indication that it was ran to death on set. They mentioned there was a veterinarian on site, there was a person whose job it is to look after the welfare of animals, etc. It was from a professional who has no reason to kill his own horses. It's ridiculous. As for CGI, you know what? The show looks fake enough as it is, so valid argument. They could use CGI and I wouldn't be able to tell the goddamn difference, frankly. As for mechanical rigs, what, like a mechanical horse? Because that'd be pretty cool, honestly. It would look mildly ridiculous, and frankly, you know what? That'd be good as well. Imagine one of the Numenorians, right, on a horse. And the horse is clearly not human. It's one of those stop-motion picture things that just moves jerkily across the scene. You know what? That would work excellently for when they introduce the human ring bearers as kind of a hint that they're going to turn into Nazguls, I guess. Undead horses. Literally. Mechanical horses, but, you got my drift. But no, obviously, that's not really an option, is it? And PETA, again, is hardly a sane organization at the best of times. Milk, white supremacy, etc. No, that's barely even the tip of the iceberg. Remember a few years ago when they complained about the Space Wolves of 40k because they wore fur? Yeah. This is a combat between two thoroughly evil parties, and whichever wins, I win too. So, it's all good. The only casualty here is that poor horse who had to witness such terrible acting and so elected in fact, to shuffle off the mortal coil. Rest in peace, horsey. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.